Hey guys! So today I thought I would talk about a few books that kind of have my favorite cover trope, I guess would be the best way to put that. And it's main characters with flowers around them. I don't know what it is about that combination, but it just gets me and it intrigues me. So I'm going to talk about, I believe it's like 6 books that I've read so far that have that, and give you a quick summary of it and what I thought of it and like the rating I gave them and stuff like that. I have most of them as physical books, and the ones I don't, I'll just put a picture of the cover up here. But yeah, well, let's get going. So the first book I'm going to talk about is probably my favorite out of all of the books that I'm going to talk about. And that is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. So this is about Iris Hollow and her 2 older sisters. When they were younger, they disappeared in Scotland, just like vanished off of the street that they were on. And then like a month later, they reappeared. And they don't remember what happened in that past month, but something happened because they came back different, we'll say, physically and mentally, and just how they affect other people as well. But now, I think it's like, 10 years after that whole ordeal happened, the oldest sister, Gray, goes missing, just vanishes again. But this time there were some like weird clues left by her, and they don't really make a whole lot of sense. But Vivi and Iris take it upon themselves to go and follow the clues and try and find out what happened to Gray and try and get her back. And they find out a lot about themselves as well while doing that. So this was 5 out of 5 stars for me. I was locked in. The vibes were immaculate, as the kids say nowadays. It was spooky, it was creepy, it was just full of rot and bugs and gore and deer man. Yeah, it was really good. I think about it almost daily. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And yeah, I don't think I could recommend it to enough people. Yeah. So if you're gonna read any book out of this, probably this one. So the next book I don't have the physical copy of. I did at one point, but I don't anymore. And that is Horrid by Katrina Leno. L-E-N-O. It is about Jane North Robinson and her mother, who move from California to her mom's childhood home in Maine after Jane's father passes away. And they're kind of wanting a fresh start, just kind of learning how to live with just, both of them on their own. But it seems like maybe the house has other plans, and like maybe there might be more than just them 2 living in there. Her mom starts to kind of unravel a bit and starts acting strange. Jane is hearing things in the house. She's seeing like toys and stuff, and then the toys that aren't hers. And then she finds out that the storage room that her mom had kept locked is not actually a storage room, but it is the room of a little girl that has seemingly been untouched since it was locked up. So she takes it upon herself to investigate and see what's going on. Jane is also a big fan of Agatha Christie, so they talk a lot about Agatha Christie novels. And they kind of play off of that as well, which was interesting. There's a big focus on roses it deals a lot with like family dynamics and kind of like the idea of a perfect family, essentially. And I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because it was an interesting read. I just didn't like how it ended. I wanted it to end differently, and I know that's kind of a lame reason to give it a lower rating, but I just did not like how it ended at all. And I feel like it should have, like, it went one direction, but it should have gone this direction, and it didn't. But yeah, still not a bad read. So, the next book I'm gonna talk about is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. Ooh, my speech impediment is coming in strong on that one, I tell you what. So this is a story about Hattie, who is, she was enrolled in the Raxter School for Girls, which has been for the last 18 months in quarantine due to the tox, which is a toxin that has infected everything on the island that the Raxter School is on. And it has affected the girls, it has infected the wildlife, everything. And they've been quarantined, they've been shut off from the rest of the world due to it because the government doesn't know what to do about it, so they're keeping it contained. It is definitely, there is a bit of a Lord of the Flies situation going on a little bit, because it pretty much killed almost all of the teachers. There's only a few left, so it's basically just a bunch of high school girls stuck on an island. And like I said, it has changed the girls' bodies in very grotesque ways. And kind of all Hattie has left is her and her 2 friends, Byatt and Reese. Then one day Byatt gets sent to the infirmary and she doesn't come back. So Hattie and Reese go brave the wilderness that is outside of the fence around the school to go and find Byatt and bring her back. And it's kind of the story of that, and then like they're finding out things about the tox and like what the government is actually doing. And it kind of just goes a little haywire after that. This was a 5 out of 5 star read for me. The descriptions of what the tox did to the girls was graphic and horrible. Kind of cool, but also like horrible. If you think about it, to actually have that happen to you, that would just mess with you just infinitely. The government in the book is doing government things, you know? There's a certain layer of hope throughout the book, but it's a very thin layer. It's like holding on by one single thread, and it's there, but God, it's not strong. But those girls hang on to that thread, I tell you what. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. The next book I'm going to talk about is She Is a Haunting by Trang Tan Tran. This is about Jade Nguyen and her 2 siblings. They go to visit their estranged father in Vietnam. He is renovating a French colonial house that's been there for, decades and stuff. His family actually worked at that house as servants like decades ago. So he is now renovating and remodeling it to make it into a bed and breakfast. He's not owning the bed and breakfast, but he's like working there as like the handyman and stuff. And so they go and visit him to try and like reconnect with him and stuff. But very quickly, Jade notices that the house is doing weird things. I think that might be another trope that I like. It's just a weird house. And it's like, it's always uncomfortably warm in there. She's like having these weird dreams about this like ghost bride, There's a lot of bug mentions, if you do not like bugs, do not go into this one, I tell you what. There was a lot of mentions of food, like very, very good descriptions of food. Like, it made me hungry just, like, reading the descriptions of it. And then towards the end made me not so hungry. But it's also about kind of Jade accepting who she is, and kind of the eldest first daughter trope of needing to be perfect and needing to be what your parents want. Deals a lot with that, and it was a really good, and it was very trippy. Reading it felt like a fever dream. So if that's something you're looking for, I would suggest this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book is actually a series, because all the series have the main character and flowers on them. And that is the Belladonna series by Adalyn Grace. So I've got Belladonna and Foxglove. I have not read the last one, Wisteria, yet. I have it, but I haven't read it yet. So the first book is the one I'm going to talk about because I don't want to give away spoilers. So this is about 19-year-old Signa Farrow, who was orphaned as an infant. She spent her life moving from guardian to guardian, and, you know, most of the guardians haven't really cared about her. They've just cared about her money because her parents were very wealthy. Signa finds herself in the Thorngrove Manor, which is inhabited by the Hawthorne family, who are like distant cousins of hers. And they're kind of all she has left as far as relatives go. And they're a little eccentric. The missus of the house had passed away, and so the Mr. Hawthorne is grieving, and he's grieving by way of having lavish parties and not really doing his job, but still getting money because he owns like a gentleman's club, I believe. The oldest son is trying to be like, hey, I can take over for you, Dad. Like, I can do this. I can take, like, you can trust me to do this. And Dad's like, no, you don't worry about that. You go do your own thing. You don't worry about that. And he's like, this is my thing. And then the daughter is ill mysteriously, and they don't quite know what's going on with that as far as the illness goes. But she's very touch and go. Very touch and go. And then one night, the late Mrs. Hawthorne visits Signa and tells her that she has been poisoned, and she needs to figure out how and who has poisoned her, because it's potentially the same thing that's happening to her daughter. And not wanting to lose another family member, Signa is like, yes, I'm gonna go do this. I am going to find out who is poisoning people in this house. And so she talks with a stable boy, and he joins her on this. And then another fun fact is that she can talk to Death. And Death is a kind of a cutie. He's insufferable and stuff. And she thinks that he's just like making her life horrible by taking away all of her past guardians. But he's also kind of mysterious. So it's intriguing. And of course she can talk to spirits, so there's that. So yeah, the first book was 4 out of 5 stars. I think I gave the second book, it was either 4 or 5 stars for the second book. The mysteries are really good in there. I enjoy the banter between Signa and Death. I don't want to give too much away. But the cliffhangers at the end of each book have been good. I am nervous to start the third one because it centers on Blythe, and that girl has been through enough. But yeah, these are gothic and paranormal and a fun read. The last book is a book I just recently finished reading. It is Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. This is about Andrew, who writes these macabre little fairy tales, and Thomas, who is his roommate at the school at the academy they go to, and he draws the fairy tales. Something happened the year prior that they don't get into too much, especially in the beginning of the book. But ever since then, Thomas has been a bit closed off from Andrew. He's been distancing himself. He's stopped drawing. When he arrived to the school, he had like blood on his sleeve, like dried blood on his sleeve. And then you soon find out that Thomas's parents are missing. And that Thomas is the main suspect. And due to all of that, Andrew decides to follow Thomas one night as he goes into the Forbidden Forest, because they're not supposed to go in there anymore. And he finds out that Thomas is fighting the monsters that he has drawn. They have somehow come to life, and they are trying to attack the school, and each night Thomas fights them and kills them to make sure that they do not harm anyone at the school. And Andrew is like, I'm obviously going to help you. There's no, like, you can't stop me. So they start to, by night, fight the monsters, and by day, try and just survive a normal life, and also figure out how they are coming to life and how to stop them. But, like, what if the only way to stop the creatures from coming to life is to destroy the creator? This one I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Such a good read. Very atmospheric. There's some dark academia mixed in with it. The yearning between Thomas and Andrew is palpable. The characters are a little unhinged, but that's okay. And yeah, it was just really good. And the ending is kind of open-ended, I guess, maybe a little bit. It's reminded me a lot of this book here, The Wicker King by Kay Ancrum. As far as how the boys act around each other, how they react to each other, and the kind of, is what's going on actually real? Are they just going crazy? Like, what is going on? It reminded me a lot of The Wicker King, and The Wicker King is one of my favorite books of all time as well. So I ate that up. It was so good. It was so good. So that is it. Those are all the books that I have read that kind of have the MC, the main character, and flowers on the cover. If you can think of any others that I did not, I know there's going to be a bunch, that I did not talk about and that you think like maybe I would like, well, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And tell me what you're reading. I started Immortal Consequences by I.V. Marie today. It's going good so far. I'm only like a chapter in, but it's interesting. It's interesting. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. you.